Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we are currently working on bringing up these 4 values, and we're cruising through at maximum speed for right now, or actually not quite maximum, we're on 6x speed. That's good enough for now. And we're just taking actually, did we achieve our might goal? Hang on, what happened here? Our might shot up to 87%. Wow. That's way higher than I thought it would. I guess this barracks is really doing the trick. Remarkable. Well, that's going to be good for our prestige, no doubt about that. Our prestige is going to need quite a lot of work. Our culture is still very low, but what we need more than anything is artwork for that. We need to bring up our artwork levels, which means we need stone. So that's just a matter of time. So that looks good. Our prosperity is at 26 out of 70. That'll probably continue to come up, but we need diversion. So once again, artwork for that. And then our prestige, of course, is just kind of a mixture of all of this. We are going to need more population, about double the population that we have right now. And if we look at this, we're not going to have enough maize for that. So I think that we probably should consider making this area out over here be farmland. And to that end, if we were to extend out some canals here, we don't need them to be stone canals. Regular canals will be good enough. So let's do canals here, and then this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we'd have road like this. That road will go all the way up to here, like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then the next segment of road would be here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would go here. And then we'd have this out over this way. So that would give us enough space for some farmland, for sure. I'm wondering right now about perhaps moving this back a little bit and moving this section of road down to have more farms here, except there's one small problem with that. And that problem is that we won't have canals. Unless we took this canal down over this way and brought it back this direction. Maybe that's a viable thing to do. But for right now, let's just do this. And we'll think about developing this area down here into potentially more farmland a little bit later on. So that seems fine. I really don't love what we've got going on here with these roads. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out of there, and then we're going to have these roads be right there instead. Yeah, that'll be okay. We can farm this up over here if we really, really want to, and then there's this down here that we could turn into additional farmland if we felt like it was absolutely necessary. So let's go ahead and put in a farmer's hut right about here, and then the question, of course, becomes, will we need another granary over here? And the answer is yes, but we do need to connect up the roads here to see exactly where this granary can reach. It can't reach down here. So with that in mind, we are going to need a granary down this way, which of course means we'll also need a porter yard. I'm going to put that right about here, and then that's going to be getting clay, stone, and timber. There we go. And then we're going to put a granary somewhere down this direction. We'll also need a market and some other services over here, I'm sure. This just barely reaches up over here. What if we put it here? Do we have a market reach here? Yes. This should be fine then. We'll put a market there, and then the granary is going to go right down over here for now. Okay, so that seems fine for the moment, and we'll get that going. And yeah, we could run the canal down this direction if we wanted to have more farming down here, but we'll see if that ends up being a thing. So we'll get that going for now, and we'll get a farmer's hut right up over here. This is going to be additional food production because we're going to need it. So this is going to be fruit trees. Not there. Hang on. Get out of there with that. There we go. That's more like it. So we'll get that underway. That looks fine. Now, this area is not going to be entirely full. We've got some potential farmland that we could get up here. This area is not going to be entirely full either. So we'll see where we want those to farm at. Let's put in a farmer's hut right here. And then as far as the maize goes, that's going to end up going That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, like that. Then I'm going to put 2 fruit trees here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the chili beds are going to go here. That's 30 out of 32, and then that's 31 out of 32. So we'll need like one more chili bed down here to get this farm maxed out. Mildly awkward, but it'll do. It'll do. So next up, we're going to want another farmer's hut here, and we're going to have to solve kind of some similar problems here. So this is going to be 9 and 13 maize. This will be fine out over here. So we'll just need 14, 15, and 16. So 3 plots of maize down here. Awkward locations, but I'll accept it. Okay, that's 24, and then the chili bed is going to be like that. So that's all the overflow we're going to need up here from up here, and that looks great. These are all full size, so that looks good. So we'll put in a farmer's hut here. This is going to be additional maize production. And we'll just do something kind of like this, and chili beds. And then 2 more. So 1 here. This isn't the right size. Hang on. Well, we can just extend this out a little bit. That's no big deal. So this can be taken out for the moment and remove these. Okay, let's just do that for now. Okay. I'm a little surprised they didn't remove the canal bridges here, but I'll leave them for the moment, actually. So that's absolutely fine. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we need it here. So the road connection needs to go like this, and this needs to be regular canal, and then we need canal bridges out here, like this. So we need to take these out. Eventually they'll get there and do that. Yeah, so that's going to be... This one didn't become... Oh, no, that did become swamp. Okay. I was going to say, that's surprising that it didn't become swamp, but it did become swamp. Okay, that's now the correct size. I want this to go all the way up to here. And now we can put in these fields. So that looks good. Fruit trees here, 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 and here. And then chili beds in the remainder of the spaces. Beautiful. And then a farmer's hut up over here. Same thing. More food production here. And that's going to be absolutely fine. Fantastic. So that looks good. There's that all online. Now, we probably do want a shrine to Tlaloc down over this direction. So that would be something like... Hang on, that's a temple to Tlaloc. Supervision of Tlaloc and Jipe Totec. Gotcha. So Jipe Totec, this would be a temple. I want a shrine to Jipe Totec. That's awful symmetry, weak symmetry. Maybe we... Actually, this is good symmetry, but that's a terrible spot for it. This is divine symmetry. So I'm absolutely going to put one in right here. That's going to be able to reach all of these over here. So that's great. And then a shrine to Tlaloc out over this direction would be good. This is awful symmetry. This is weak, abysmal. This is strong symmetry. So if we did that, we could put a road right there, like that. So that'll give us Tlaloc and Jipe Totec down in this area. Now we have Tlaloc here and Tlaloc here, but do we have any Jipe Totec up over this direction? The answer is not really. And I'd like to have some, but our space is actually not great. But we can put one in here. That'll reach some of this anyway. And then we can potentially put one like up here, but that's awful symmetry and it won't really reach. For one thing, this needs to be road. So with that there, a shrine to Jipe Totec up over here will reach some of this, but it is awful symmetry. Are we upset about that? Maybe not. I don't know what the symmetry actually does, to be honest. I think it affects how much service it provides. Enhances your favor with the gods and the overall mood of your city. Okay, so awful symmetry up here isn't the worst thing then. Because we're looking for the bonuses, and we'll get some of that going anyway. So that looks good, but that will of course require additional artwork. And this mason yard is actually reaching pretty much everything down here, so that seems okay. We might want to think about putting in an additional mason yard about right here though, just to help out this area. So we'll get that going, and that's our farmland expanded fairly nicely. So we're going to have additional food production, which is going to be good because we need to expand our population. Looking up over this direction, I'm seeing that we're still struggling with the amount of cotton that we're making. So that's absolutely noted. We need to export more and more and more of this cotton and amate. So, to that end, I think we need another pair of trading posts. So we'll do something like that, and then in order to have workers there, well, we should probably have some additional housing in this area, shouldn't we? So I'm going to rotate the camera here a bit, and we're going to build a road out over this way, like that. And then I'm thinking potentially some housing somewhere around here or so. It would have a hard time getting to these services here, but we can bring this around like that and connect into the road that is right up over here. So that seems fine. And then we can put in just a little bit of housing right up over here, like that. If we need more services up here, we can get them. And we probably will. Yeah, we definitely will. So let's get a well dipper down over here then. And that'll go maybe about here or maybe about here. I'm also wondering about a road connection out over this way. So we can do something kind of like this. Yeah, about like that. Okay, so that looks good for now. And then we can, of course, put in a... Let's see, we would want an alcove around here somewhere, most likely. I'm wondering about the range out over here. If we were to put it in right here, we would be able to reach a little bit out over here as well. So let's do that, and then we would go for the sweeper and the sentry post. And that can go potentially here, but I'm thinking about this space as a 2x2. That's pretty useful. So we can definitely do something with that. So sweeper and a sentry post somewhere around there. Okay, we'll get that all underway. Now, bandits, very rude. Now we're going to go to Melanalco here. This is going to be 1 unit of amate, and the rest of this is just going to be cotton. And then this one is going to be with these guys, I believe it was? No. These guys. I want to export some armor and some amate, and the rest of it being cotton. I'd like to get weapon exports there, but it's fine for now. So that looks good. We need to import more stone, but we know that. A lot of what we're building does not really require stone. Some of it does, like the trading posts and the sentry post. Those require stone. But a lot of what we're trying to construct here doesn't. These farms are already fully online, it looks like, or very close to it. So that's looking good. No problem there. We should have lots and lots of food coming in, but of course, this granary is not yet built. It's going to take it some time. This porter yard is also going to take some time, and that's absolutely understood. We need more stone. So we've only got the 1 porter yard importing stone right now, or rather the 1 trading post importing stone right now, and we may want to think about expanding that. I'm going to put in 2 more trading posts down here. I'm going to do 1 here, and then I'm going to do 1 about here. And these are intended to be only stone imports. Nothing else. Just importing stone. That's their only goal. So that's going to be with these guys as well. Okay, so we'll get that done, and we'll get these built in the eventual times. 10 furniture were stolen. Are we exporting furniture? Oh, we are. Okay. Noted. So that's absolutely fine for now. And everything's looking good. Our might is definitely high enough. Our prosperity is on the way up. We have an excess of working age nobles. Okay, we have a good amount of commoners, so I'm not very concerned about that, although we're going to need to expand our population somewhat, but that's fine for now. So we can also start farming in areas like this and areas like this That's all absolutely fine if we wanted to do that. But for the moment, I don't feel like we need it. Quetzalcoatl is displeased with our lack of devotion, so we should probably consider building like a shrine to Quetzalcoatl somewhere. This is artisans, scholars, and priesthood. We could put it in out over this way. That's strong symmetry, actually, and sure, that reaches a decent number of houses. So now we can see that we're not able to reach the stone canals here with this alcove. If we moved this alcove here, it wouldn't reach here. I'm wondering right now, what if we were to just Chinampa our way over there? So if we were to Chinampa right here, like this, that should do the trick. Okay, we'll get that started, and that should allow us to reach these tiles. Yeah, we can now reach the tiles. Perfect. So that looks good. No problem whatsoever there. So at this point, we still have more people moving in. That's absolutely understood. And our trading posts down here are, well, they're still a ways away from coming online. Noted. So our prosperity is at 29 out of 70. Mostly what we need to get that done. Oh, we've got some flooding going on over here. Well, this might be due to this wooden bridge. I'm interested potentially in taking that out, but that's allowing us access to some of this out over here. I don't think that's what's causing this flooding, though. Maybe it is. Are there any of these canals that are not actually finished? I think they're finished. Well, this isn't significant flooding up over this direction, so that's reasonably fine, I think. I'm not terribly concerned about it. For the moment, it seems fine. We're at 4840, and our population is just kind of hovering there. 4830 now? Sure. So that's all absolutely fine for the moment. What we really need more than anything is stone. We will be getting more stone in soon, but in order to do that, we need to get more stone. It's kind of wild. This is a very significant flood. It doesn't usually flood this badly down this way. So I'm guessing that this is just our stone canals failing. We'll just wait it out. I don't think we need to do anything about it right now. It seems okay. And then this out over here we expect to flood, right? That's absolutely expected. This out over here, though, I don't necessarily expect this to flood. So that's kind of wacky. I think it might be due to this bridge, though. That's the current theory. We'll see. I don't know that we will see, actually. But we are up to 5,000 population at this moment, and that's looking good. We could definitely have some more housing down over this way, and I think that's not a terrible idea. If we were to put in 2 houses about here. Let's get that going. Those should build pretty quickly. And we've got services down over here already, so we don't need to be too concerned about that one. Otherwise, this looks good. We still need that artwork, though. And we do have some gods that are displeased by our lack of devotion. We'll get there. I am planning on building larger temples, but we need to have these online first. Here's one of these trading posts that are now online. That's good. We're going to look to import as much stone as we can. That'll be absolutely magnificent when that gets finished. A mason yard caught fire. Yeah, that's okay. Absolutely fine. Looks like the flood is over at this point, so that is good. And we're still working on getting these trading posts up and running, but that's fine. It takes a while for stone to propagate throughout this city. And we're barely getting enough right now. So we need a lot more stone, and we're delighted to see that these guys are hopefully... Yeah, they're coming back with a 336 loss. That's what we want to see. Absolutely great. So that is phenomenal. This food production may not be enough to feed 8,000 population worth. We'll see. But right now, our food production is not really maximized. This granary over here is a little bit overstuffed, actually. Ah, yeah. So we're actually full up on our granaries. We are. Noted. So we're not actually seeing our real production. A lot of our food is rotting because we're overproducing it. That's good. That's a good problem to have. This granary is now done and is beginning to store foodstuffs as well, but you can see how quickly it's filling up. That's a big deal. No doubt about it. So we're definitely producing a lot of food. And if we look at this, okay, yeah. Now we can see plus 660. It's going up fast, and that's because we had the extra 200 storage capacity here. So that's absolutely fine. We like it. That indicates that we're producing more than enough food for our current population. Our population does need to continue to grow, and we need to get our prosperity up, we need to get our culture up, and we need to get our prestige up. So that's noted. But we are seeing some of these construction projects get finished, like this Shrine to Tlaloc, currently done. That's very good. Some of this down here, not so much, but we should be, at this point, yeah, we're just making repairs. We need stone. That's the takeaway here. We need stone. Our mason yards are not producing artwork, mostly I think because they don't have much stone. This one does. This one has stone and is producing artwork. So that's good. We want to see more of that. For the moment, I just want to keep running the clock forward and let some of the stone arrive at some of these construction sites. And hopefully fill up our mason yards as well. That would be absolutely ideal, but getting a couple more trading posts working on importing stone is definitely good. And can we bump this up? Yes, we can. Just allocate that whole thing to stone. So as you can see, we're flooding again at this point, and the flood is continuing to be somewhat bad down this way, but it's really not awful. This seems pretty manageable in terms of flood, to be honest. It's only flooded a short amount of time out of the year. Wait a second. Wait a second. We're providing services over bridges now. There was a patch this morning. Did that bug get fixed? It did. Okay, so bridges are now providing services. That's really good. That's really, really good. I'm glad to see that. We can now pass services over bridges. That's a very big deal. Of course, that means that this is a little bit awkward down over here now, but it should be fine. I'm delighted by that. That is the way that it should have been from the get-go. So bridges are now counting as roads, and we can pass directly over them with our services. I'm delighted to see that. That's fantastic. That is probably why our might jumped up so much, to be honest, because we can now provide might services to everything over here. We may want to consider a fortress down here, though, to be able to help oversee this, and that's probably not a bad idea. I'm not going to build a barracks down here, just a fortress. And we can put that here. That would block a road. If we put it here, it'd only block one road, and I think that's fine. So we'll get that going. That is, of course, going to require more stone. 300 of the stuff. But at least we have 2 trading posts now working on importation. So that looks good. Where are you at right now? The trader is wandering. Okay. Not ideal, but this trading post is now finished, and people will start acquiring jobs over here. So that's great. And stone will just continue to flow in on this side now, as well as in our city center. And we could maybe even put another trade post right here that is dedicated to importing stone. You know what? I'm going to do it. So we're going to put a trade post here. This is going to be in with these guys. Yep. Just max out that stone import. Let's get it going. So, in terms of the cotton at this point, do we have enough cotton export happening? Well, I suspect we will, actually. We're not seeing this trading post being completely full. So that looks good. And then these two are going to also be working on exporting cotton. So that looks fine for now. How are we doing on stone up over here? Well, we don't have any. Noted. What about in our mason yard over this way? No stone. Noted. So stone is definitely our big lack, but we've expanded our stone imports a fair amount, and as the stone comes in, that should be fine. I'm okay with our exports, and our imports just needed to be tuned up a little bit. At this point, what we need to be working towards is boosting our population up to 8,000 and getting our prestige, culture, and prosperity up, which will require artwork. That's what we need more than anything. So that is, of course, stone. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about getting some of this stuff online. And yeah, we've got this fortress down over here. We do need weapons here. And that's a good call. So we should have getting weapons and armor in this border yard. That will be able to supply to this fortress. So that looks good. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Aurelio, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.